The Ag Startup Engine is about agricultural technology. Now, agriculture is really big. AgTech is still pretty big and pretty broad. And even the first 5 companies that we have are a range of different places. But what do you think are some of the most compelling opportunities in agricultural technology, whether it's just what you're interested in personally, what you think is interesting, regardless of what your business is, or things from kind of a people's company perspective that are most interesting?
Yeah, we've tried to pay attention to things that can impact our business. And so, in the farm management business, we think we've just scratched the surface on some of the technology that's coming into the space and how you can get more efficient with farming.
Mm-hmm.
And I've made the comment that I think agriculture and farming is one of the last great places of arbitrage in the world. And that even though there's a lot of great farmers and there's a lot of technology, we haven't fully, in my mind, embraced a lot of that technology and figured out how to actually apply it and become better stewards and more profitable and that sort of thing. And
so by arbitrage, you mean bringing technologies that may have been put to work in some other sector and just bringing them in and implementing them in agriculture?
Absolutely. And just, in our management business, one farmer to the next, you'll see just major, I don't know what you'd call it, skill gap or whatnot, mm-hmm. but folks that are embracing technology and how that operation performs versus others that don't. And so we've been able to see that routinely when we're collecting yield history and signing leases. And the folks that have embraced technology are in a better position to, in our world, pay higher rents, which necessarily isn't popular, but increase yields and increase profitability and do it in a sustainable manner. So.
How does that issue of sustainability touch all of these things? Does it... certainly from just a thematic thing, it seems like a big deal, but from an actual impact on bottom line and impacting real estate, impacting kind of long-term value of land, how do you see that coming together?
Yeah, sustainability is the new buzzword. It's impacting everything that we do. We spend a lot of time working with investors, and a lot of this investment capital, they want that tied to sustainability practices. There's a big movement in food now, the food to fork movement. People want to know where their food comes from. You see that with blockchain now, tracking from the very beginning of the stages from that seed being planted to when it's manufactured into whatever you're eating. And so, the consumer is really starting to drive choices. And, when we started to see some of these decisions where California, on the cage-free issue, when you start to realize, gosh, the consumer really does have a voice, and if you aren't paying attention, you could be on the outside looking in, and so we've spent a lot of time in our management business making sure that we're addressing the long-term sustainability, conservation issues. Water quality in Iowa is a big deal, and so it went from being a fad, maybe a buzz thing, maybe something that people in agriculture didn't think applied to them, and I think it's become very much mainstream, and it's on top of mind for a lot of folks.
Sure. We built a lot of systems around commodity production, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all, right? Because we built a really efficient system that delivers consistent quality, very safe food at the end of the day to consumers. But I think some of the issues that you touch on about farm to fork, blockchain being able to trace things, offers at least an opportunity for niches to develop that didn't exist before. Do you see that becoming an issue?
No, I think it's very exciting because you're seeing a movement back to some smaller scale farming, and even organics, which are popular amongst some and others not so much, but it's allowing that new entrepreneur that maybe has a smaller scale farming concept to be viable and bring something to the market that the consumer wants. So, I'm a huge fan of production agriculture, and that drives our business, but it's exciting to see some of these things. And we took a tour of the Nebulum facility the other day, and this indoor farming concept, it's mind-blowing, frankly, to see what that looks like and what that can mean for traditional agriculture when you can produce crops year-round, indoors in a controlled environment without weather risk. It's pretty exciting.